Okay. I mean, you guys are old pros at this point, right? So.
Everybody needs to mute their sound.
Does that mean we get the pro salary today too?
Right, yeah. I don't know that I'm even getting the pro salary. Since 1993, Pumpkin Hollow has been providing equal parts homegrown hospitality and horror to northern Arkansas. For the 2024 season, A-Corp took a look behind the curtain and got to know the Dalton family who run the operation. What makes this place so special? How does it stay relevant year after year? I'm your host, Jake, and this is Pumpkin People. So, good to be back. The season is over. How do you guys feel about it?
I think we had a really great season. It kind of started out a little slow because, oh my gosh, it was so hot. And then we had...
In our opening weekend, we had a hurricane. So,
But really, we had a great October. And once we got cranking, we had a really, really good season. Actually, went 2 nights after Halloween this year, which is unusual. We don't normally do that, but sort of the way the calendar fell.
Right, yeah. The, what was it, Halloween was
Halloween
on a
was on
Thursday?
Thursday.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
guys did the Friday and Saturday. And, I mean, did you still get a pretty good draw for that?
we did. And
than-
it was less than the weeks before, but we expected that. But,
Yes.
but it was about what we expected. So we were
We almost never are open on Halloween because everybody is so involved with other things. And actually, I had a lady call me and she says, I have to know, why are you not open on Halloween night? And I said, because we don't like to lose money. There are so many other things going on.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, Halloween will be on a Friday night, so obviously we'll be be open next year.
Yeah, because I imagine you'll have more, especially adults out, trying to find something to do on Friday.
One more thing, yeah.
So yeah, I think that'll be good. Probably less kids because of the trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
But yeah. What would you say is the MVP event of the 2024 season? Like, it could have been which haunted house was the most popular. I mean, it could have been the excavators. I mean, what did you guys really see your customers gravitating towards the most?
Daytime, definitely those mini excavators, you know, it's kind of funny. We didn't realize they were a big thing.
I think Jack might have realized they were a big
I don't know that you
Well, I
didn't.
didn't have the tie to the cartoon and the excavator. I didn't know that.
And
but,
there were people who thought that that's the reason we got them this year.
See, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, there's this cartoon, something about Blippi, and so they talk about all kinds of construction equipment. And I kept hearing these 3 and 4 year olds say, I love the excavators. And I'm thinking, how do you even know what an excavator is? Well, they knew because of this TV show.
Yeah, look, I'm a childless 30-year-old man.
Yeah.
I don't know what kids are into.
So sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So.
But they did love them.
But that was really good. I think the MVP was the weather.
For October particularly.
Because all of our weekends in October we had
dry.
spectacular
Yes,
weather. No
we did.
rain and a little warm, but
Well, it was a little warm
sunshine.
at first, but I feel like it cooled off a little earlier this year than it has the past few.
We had good weather, so we're real similar to farmers in the area.
Mm-hmm. You are farmers.
Right.
It's just,
but we can do everything that we can do the best we can do, and if the weather doesn't cooperate with us, we don't have a good year. So the weather cooperated this year, so we're very fortunate for that.
I think the other MVP at night was our 2 big professional fireworks shows.
Oh yeah!
My goodness, people were just nuts about that, and they are spectacular. Like nothing else that anybody would see in our whole area.
Right.
From what we hear, the gravel roads around here were lined with people watching them, and I mean, they were so loud that one lady said she was in the grocery store at Pickett and heard them. And
well, I had a friend of mine from Clarkton, Missouri, text to me saying, "Are you just shooting fireworks?" I heard them in my house, and now I'm walking outside and I can see them.
Right.
So,
Right.
And that's
it was that big of a show.
Probably 15 miles away from here. So.
As the crow flies.
Yeah.
Previously, I've done a piece on like the Sykeston Rodeo, for instance, and my parents' house is a good few miles away from those rodeo grounds. But not only can you step outside while that's happening, and you can hear you can't really make out words, but you can hear the announcements. But when whoever the musical entertainment is starts, I remember one year they had Nelly of all people, because they always try to bring in one sort of out there act, and I was like, is he? Oh yeah, he's playing hot in here right now. So just the idea of, you're putting on this fireworks show for everyone who's here, but also maybe you're kind of just putting it on for everybody in the certain mile radius.
I guarantee you that. We had so many people. The other MVP was no injuries. 0 injuries the whole fall, and that's
good. Is that normal? Hopefully,
we work very hard on safety.
But
to have 0 anything other than maybe a kid needing a Band-Aid,
maybe a splinter
that's huge.
Something.
That's huge. And the other, we'll laugh about this, but it's huge to me. Almost no employee drama, so that's fantastic.
Yeah, I say take the victories you can.
Close to
150.
150-ish.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah. So it was a good fall.
Side,
it was a very good fall.
One thing that really hit me last time was just how everything had come together.
Yes.
The pumpkins were ready to be sold. The gourds were all grown. The sunflowers were mostly there. They're a little more there now. You were talking about that earlier.
Yes.
We were talking about that earlier. Yes. Sunflowers decided to wait until the end of the season to fully show up. But they, they were good. They were there. It's fine.
That's right.
I think anyone who came to take a picture with the sunflowers would have been happy. It's weird now seeing everything stripped down. It's not all away yet, but. It's like, wow, it really is just kind of this village that shows up for about a month and some change, and then it goes back to, okay, let's plan for next year. Let's make everything as good as we can. Let's learn more. Let's learn the lessons from what we did this year. I just imagine there's so much effort that goes into this that, sure, it makes you a lot of money, but I don't look at this operation without thinking like they clearly have a lot of passion for this.
we love what we do, and I want to give kudos to, if I had to say the other MVP is, we have absolutely amazing creative people who work for us.
Absolutely.
We truly do. We have some characters, and especially in hot
I find
work.
a lot of the best creative people have to be
They are characters.
Sure.
That's absolutely right. Well, Jack and I laugh. We're sort of both left brain. Leave us out of the creative. You don't want us. You don't want us doing the creative.
Well, it just goes to show.
And sometimes, honestly, they'll say something and it hits she and I wrong because we don't think. And I have to back up and say, look, Mom.
Yeah.
We don't think that way. We've got to. There's just some things we got to find middle ground on because creative people think differently than.
They do.
And we've got to have them. So,
absolutely.
I have to, because I'm on the far other spectrum. I'm not creative
so
at all.
I got left out of that gene pool entirely. But I know things that I like when I see them.
Right.
So.
Sure. I think that's all you can really ask for. That's all you really need is, if you're not someone who finds yourself with that sort of creative spark, that's fine. You're probably meant for more practical things. Obviously this business has a lot of creativity to it.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, it is still a business, and you need someone who can run a business.
Yes.
So if that's what you guys focus on, I think that's probably for the best.
I know it's for the best.
We've always heard that being a good manager is doing what you do well and knowing your weaknesses and knowing what you don't do well and finding good people to do it. What you don't do well. So that's what we try to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The whole point of being a manager is that you're managing.
Right.
So, also knowing what the people that you find, what they are good at.
Well, Michelle, who's worked for us for years and years, I'll never forget the first time I saw her creative spark. She actually came early on and worked in the concession stand, and we were out before these buildings were even built and trying to make things look good. And I just said, what would you do? And she says, you want me to do it? I said, yeah. Holy cow. I mean, she could do this stuff, and looked really great. And we had one gal that we needed a tractor driver, and one of the other gals who worked here said, well, she's been driving a tractor since she was 12 years old, and I thought, ha ha. So that thing about finding people's capabilities, that's huge.
So now that the season is over, things aren't completely picked up, but has most of the crew pretty much gone back to their 11 months of the year lives?
Yes.
Well, we've just got our core crew here now and kind of putting some things away. And I've got my friend coming to harvest the corn maze as soon as weather permits. We're
our regulars are taking a few days off here and there. We got one guy that works all the time year round, and he's on deer hunting leave this week.
I see. What is that time?
I just had my nose in the computer trying to dig out from under all the stuff I'm behind.
Accounting and all the fun.
Paying bills and payroll. And
taxes and sales taxes and all the other side of it.
Make sure all the numbers are numbering properly.
Make sure all the business side of it.
Yes.
So when you work all week, you come up here and do 40 hours on the weekend and go work. Now, anyway, we were all ready to breathe a little bit. So.
I can imagine,
So that's one reason we're sort of glad not to be doing that full Christmas show because it was killer.
What do you want people who maybe haven't made it down here before and maybe you want to inspire them to check it out in future years? Or, I don't know, maybe some guy in Guatemala happens upon it somehow. I don't know, stranger things have happened. What do you want people to know about you as people? What do you want people to know about Pumpkin Hollow as a business? The ball is in your court.
Yeah, I think that people should see the passion we have for it and the work that goes into it and how hard us and our whole crew tries to give everybody a really good experience while they're here, and how grateful we are for everybody that comes. We've been doing some posting on social media but we probably don't do a good enough job to thank the thousands of people that came out here, because you got to put some effort in to come out here. We're not at the edge of we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. So
it's like we were talking earlier. It's a pig at a dress, but people from Sikeston, people from Malden, people from Dexter, people from Jonesboro. We have lots of people that put a lot of effort to come out here, and we really appreciate it. It kind of came out of necessity in a rough farming time, and it kind of literally saved the family farm. So for that, I'll always be grateful.
And he mentions being so far out, which was pretty much of a handicap when we first began. I see it as an asset now.
Sure.
Because Crowley's Ridge is beautiful.
The cotton being open in the fall.
Drive here about the crops, they get to see the cotton fields. And
so now it's a day trip. It's
literally become a destination.
Instead of something, at the edge of town, you might, we've been out here for a couple hours and now what do we do? Well, people plan their whole day around coming up here, and all the local restaurants are big fans of ours, because we bring a lot of...
And shops.
And anyway, we bring a lot of people in, so like I said, we're just really grateful for that.
That and the whole sense of family, because that's what this is. Sometimes I think people, if they see a business and that business looks successful to them, then they think automatically, well, the owner's not accessible. Well, here the owner is accessible and the family is accessible.
There's never a time that one of us is not here.
And people truly are surprised at that sometimes. We get so few complaints, but somebody will walk in maybe at night late and something didn't suit them, and how could we speak to the owner? Well, I still say I'm the owner. I'm complaint department, whatever. But they're surprised that this is not run by somebody that's up in their, house watching TV or out on vacation or something. No, we're here. This is our stuff. So.
Yeah, I suppose the most hands-off anyone is just, if Jack is dealing with some crop insurance business, that's about it, I would imagine, otherwise.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you guys are here. And plus, like you said, your husband's still around as well.
Yeah.
I imagine. I imagine he's still pretty involved.
Oh yeah, he still is he goes for us a lot. He gets,
It seems like he's a real behind the scenes support pillar for sure.
Yeah, and he's always scooting around on his side, making sure things are done to suit him.
And giving me recommendations on things I could do better. And I'm saying that in a really nice way.
Recommendations?
I'm saying that I'm being really nice here. So.
I'll give you both a handshake to say thank you again.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate it. I've watched the earlier episodes, and we probably would never sit down and chronicle this. So I think it's really neat.
Yeah, it's good to have a history.
That's true.
Yeah.
It is.
My cousins that are other parts of the country, people have watched it and said, well, I didn't know this, or I didn't know that, anyway,
hey, we could have a movie night on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So anyway, it's been really neat. I appreciate y'all taking the time and doing it.
We did enjoy it.
Yeah, I've enjoyed making it. At certain points, there's been a little bit of, we have so much here, how do I even cut it down? There's been a lot of that, but I think ultimately what has come from this, I think has been pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah,
good.
Cool. Well, we will try that pumpkin roll off camera, and I will just put some text on the screen here that just says the word yes if it was good.